Hi, I'm Tommy Thompson. This is AI in Games, a series on research and applications of artificial intelligence in video games. Over the last couple of years of making these videos, I've looked at a variety of video games that have proven useful testbeds for AI research, with the likes of Ms. Pac-Man, Super Mario Bros, and more recently, StarCraft. But in this video, I want to look at a genre that's still relatively new, whilst presenting exciting opportunities for AI research: multiplayer online battle arenas. The MOBA genre is undoubtedly one of the most popular in gaming today, but what does any of this mean for AI? I'm going to give an overview of MOBAs as a genre, what aspects of their design can prove interesting to AI research, and look at some projects that are now bearing fruit both in academia and in corporate research labs. Alright, let's start with me butchering my explanation of what MOBAs are and why they're proven so interesting. Multiplayer online battle arenas are an offshoot of real-time strategy games, originating with the Ion of Strife map for Blizzard's StarCraft, followed by the Defense of the Ancients mod for Warcraft 3 Reign of Chaos and its subsequent expansion The Frozen Throne. In MOBAs, players take charge of a single character or hero as part of a team. Teams of players are tasked with the destruction of the opposing team's structures, with the critical structure found in the centre of their base on one side of the map. Maps in MOBAs are typically broken up into lanes, with structures such as towers or turrets for each team to defend their own and attack their opponents. Players must work to destroy these structures alongside not only fellow players, but simple AI-controlled non-player characters, often referred to as creeps, that continually spawn from each team's base and move forward, often unwittingly, to their eventual demise. What makes this interesting and challenging for both human and AI player alike is the need for management of resources, control of our chosen hero unit, alongside consideration of the macro and micro layers of strategy. This is in contrast to real-time strategy games that typically remove absolute control at the micro level, given the AI often handles the behaviour of individual units for a given task. A topic I have belaboured in 2018, given not only my 5-part overview of Creative Assembly's Total War, but also my previous video looking at AI research in StarCraft and StarCraft 2. However, in MOBAs, players need to manage the control of their own hero unit, but also consider how their actions will influence the strategies in play at multiple levels of abstraction. This requires teamwork and communication between players, whilst also ensuring we effectively manage our hero's skill tree and resources through use of items. MOBAs are rather strict in their map design and general formula, with maps often adhering to the 3-lane structure as you can see here. The variety of heroes on offer are what govern the larger meta strategy of the game. Despite this, there is still sufficient breadth in this design for numerous games in the genre to emerge. While MOBAs are typified by two spiritual successors of Defense of the Ancients, namely Dota 2 by Valve and Riot's League of Legends, there are a host of other interpretations of this space, such as the likes of Smite by Hi-Rez Studios, Blizzard's own Heroes of the Storm, Battleborn? Oh no. Infinite Cryte? Nope. Paragon? Nah. You know what, never mind, let's just talk MOBA research. So why all the fuss? Well, MOBA games are very popular these days. They've effectively pushed RTS games and other popular genres aside to become the largest esport in the world in terms of prize money awarded. Everyone is in on this jazz, betting companies, sponsorship deals, and when you're looking to get your hands on, say, $20 million prize pools at the Invitationals, hell, even I would give it a stab were it not for the fact I'm in my 30s, which by MOBA standards means I've been dead for about 10 years.
So
where there's a lot of money, there's a need to provide a great experience for players, spectators, commentators, and more. There are a variety of ways in which AI can potentially impact areas of MOBA development, consumption, and engagement. Whilst much of this is still more fantasy than reality, there are some very real problems that AI could be tackling. This includes hero drafting, where AI could recommend the selection or blocking of specific characters in a tournament context. Commentary for different parts of the match. This is an incredibly demanding and taxing problem to explore and comes in a variety of forms, such as analysis of the hero draft phase as well as building up the key plays of the match. This last part sounds really taxing, given this requires recognition of what's happening at the point in the game, isolating the key play that occurs, managing the camera for maximum dramatic effect, and potentially even hypecasting the whole thing as it occurs. For some context, let's check this moment from the 2017 International for Dota 2 and note how in-depth knowledge of the game meta, managing the camera, and how context and showmanship from the commentators elevates this into an epic moment for the crowds.
individual geniuses on the hill to the east of Empire. Will they wrap around? Roger will do it. Arteezy's the man. Will he get initiated on? The BKB is out, so is a Dream Call. Resolution has to stand his ground for the moment. The arrows fly forward. Doesn't know any of EG. They want to fight. Arteezy has the range. The Venomancer has the ulti. Arteezy sunders up the damage. If he can't, actually can't regenerate, he may as well steal it. FN, they'll have the deep to bring him down. Universe beating through the Mirana, getting through the BKB. Resolution! The Kravage is unbelievable for Empire!
Now, much of this comes down to human expert knowledge from match commentators, such as Toby1 Dawson here, as well as teams of people filtering through footage, in real time and by hand. That's not an easy task. AI could very well look into speeding up and assisting in this process. Outside of commentary, AI tools can still be used for pre- and post-match analysis for teams at a competitive level, examining their movement patterns, their overall strategy with hero selection during play, as well as item usage, such as wards which temporarily expose parts of the map hidden by the fog of war. But of course, in addition to all of this is the continued development of the games themselves. League of Legends and Dota 2 go through an ongoing process of balancing characters and items within the meta of the game. There is potential for AI tools to be able to establish the major changes at strategic level of a given patch, to isolate exploits that need to be patched out, and potentially predict changes that will be made to the game based on current in-game performances. On top of this is managing the communities that play and how well they interact with one another. MOBAs sadly have a poor reputation for their community and toxic behaviour, but what if AI can catch this as it's happening? An issue already being tackled by the likes of Spirit AI and their text message monitoring platform Ally, filtering language and reporting players automatically based on their in-game behaviour. Many of these issues are relevant to other games and even physical sports such as football and basketball, but MOBAs are a perfect platform for this given they provide one thing that many machine learning driven AI systems need: data. Dota 2 and League of Legends provide complete replay data of matches, and there are a significant number of tools and communities out there who write parsing tools to enable hobbyists and researchers to parse that data for their own interests. And there's plenty of data to go around, with over 1,000 years of Dota gameplay occurring daily, and an estimated 430,000 years worth of games played by April of 2014 according to this article over on Ars Technica. So while this research field is still relatively new, I'm going to walk through some recent work in the last couple years and give you a flavour of just how far it's come, but also how much more work is still to be done. First up, let's look at hero drafting, the process of selecting and potentially blocking heroes for the opposing team in a tournament context. Can we predict the hero a team will select? That'd be useful not just for match commentary but also in-game strategy. Early research in this area arose courtesy of Adam Somerville and Ben Steenhuisen from UC Santa Cruz and DatDota respectively, working alongside Michael Cook, whose work had previously been highlighted here on AI in Games with his Angelina system. This project looked at using a stack of Dota 2 matches from the DatDota site around the time of the Frankfurt Major in 2015 and applied BaseNets and LSTM neural networks and trained them against the draft phase, isolating choice number, team, choice type and preceding choices. The resulting BaseNet wasn't terribly accurate, but the LSTMs weren't far off the actual commentators' comments made during those matches. Next up, player performance. What can we learn about players from their gameplay data, and how can this be put to good use? There's a variety of research emerging in this field that utilise replay data to quite drastic effect. A notable example is work by Rohit Bhattacharya and Aswad Sabik of Johns Hopkins University, who developed a prototype player-personalised recommendation system for hero selection and playstyle back in 2015. This work analysed 500 matches in top-tier competition and clustered data of winning teams using principal component analysis, locally linear embedding, and affinity propagation. The resulting system can look at a snapshot of the current state of the game and recommend the most successful heroes for that period of play, as well as give advice on goals and objectives players should focus on, all of which based on expert gameplay data. Meanwhile, a team of researchers led by Anders Drachen at the University of York in the UK began formative research in analysing zone changes and distribution of team members in matches of Dota 2, using a process known as spatio-temporal analysis. The resulting system, once again using a form of time series clustering over 196 matches across 4 skill tiers, enables the research to highlight significant differences in strategic play between expert and novice players. This highlighted how expert players' movement patterns and behaviour are not only more refined than novices, but have unique identifiers during early to mid and mid to late game. Moving into esport analytics, Anders Draken appears again alongside Matthias Schubert of Ludwig Maximilians University in Munich and Tobias Malman of Lund University in Sweden. This research looks at building the foundations for future esport analytics through encounter analysis, meaning reading the in-game data to isolate periods of play where multiple heroes from opposing teams are in range to affect one another. This leads to decisive encounters, which are established as one where heroes get killed. Using the spatio-temporal analysis process, this system assessed over 400 Dota 2 replays to establish a variety of different encounters, break down where encounters largely occur throughout a match, and even begin to predict success in encounters based on other in-game data and previous performances. Alongside this is work by Pu Yang, Brent Harrison and David Roberts at North Carolina State University, who published work in 2014 on identifying combat patterns in Dota 2. These patterns are built from graph models of in-game behaviour during specific windows of play, the interactions that take place, and their outcomes. Through use of rule-based classifiers, a series of rules and strategies are formulated by the system with a confidence rating of whether they should be employed at that point in time. While still far from complete, analysis against new matches outside of the training set proved to be valid and accurate in over 80% of test cases. This is far from an exhaustive overview, but it highlights that there's a lot of work happening in this field and it's been going on for a few years now. Outside of these topics, there's also been research in areas such as item analysis and in-game economies, dynamic difficulty adjustment for solo players, online ranking algorithms for ensuring players don't matchmake with and of course, writing bots that can actually play MOBAs.
And now, we have a little bit of a special treat before we get into that lower bracket match.
Now, I deliberately left this until last, but arguably the most well-known research happening in MOBAs right now is in creating bots that can play the games themselves. While there is work in this area happening in academia, the biggest and most notable to date is from the corporate world. Headlines were made back in August 2017 as a new AI bot was paraded in front of fans and professionals at the International, the biggest Dota 2 event in the world, hosted by game developer Valve, and acts as the closing event of the annual Dota Pro Circuit. The bot itself was developed by OpenAI, a non-profit company co-founded by AI scaremonger, elitist libertarian, modern-day sensationalist slave driver, and all-round Elon Musk. At the time of this video, OpenAI is still tight-lipped on how the bot actually works, but it is reliant on a custom interface based on the public Dota 2 bot API that reflects human observations and in-game actions and a configuration that allows it to use machine learning techniques and gradually learn the game through self-play. This is hosted on a cloud system to enable massive processing power, as well as speed it up even further by running the game almost entirely on GPUs. The learning bot is also capable of being coached by being fed good strategies either for specific circumstances or to bootstrap base behaviours. The bot was gradually trained and improved over a period of 5 months in preparation for the International, with the bot's performance gradually improving over time. In early June, it still struggled to beat players with a Dota matchmaking rating or MMR of around 1,500, which is equivalent to less than 15% of all players. However, in time, it was capable of defeating professional players such as Arteezy, Sumail, and former world champion Dendi, with the battle against Dendi being streamed across the internet for the world to see. Is this the future of AI research? Is this a significant technical achievement? Yeah, and no. Firstly, we need to remember Dota 2, like any MOBA, is a team game. Being capable of reacting to, anticipating and outperforming a human in 1v1 capacity, even against professional players, was an inevitability. Training machine learning algorithms to work in reactive and dynamic contexts, such as 1v1 combat in a MOBA, is a relatively attainable goal. Don't get me wrong, it's not easy by any stretch, and full credit to the team for constructing it. But this feels more like a PR stunt than it is a significant breakthrough for AI. Call me bullish, but I'm just not all that impressed yet. OpenAI hosted a LAN event for other pro players at the International to take their shot at the bot. They've since conceded it was defeated, but failed to give actual numbers. Despite this, over 50 players who could overcome the bot have since came forward to detail their experiences. Like any machine learning bot, you can't ensure it's infallible. As such, players found a handful of strategies the bot couldn't anticipate for and exploited them to the best of their ability. League of Legends and Dota 2 will continue to not only hold the attention of game players and esports communities around the world, but also become increasingly prominent in AI research. Hopefully, having watched this video, you can now understand why I would anticipate a continued growth of research in this field, but also what it is about these particular genre of games that proves so enticing as a testbed for artificial intelligence. And that's it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, click the bell, jump through a ring of fire, whatever the else YouTube wants you to do in order to ensure you keep up to date with my videos here on AI in Games. If you're a MOBA player or researcher, get some good discussion rolling down in the comments. What are you excited about seeing AI tackle within this space? If you're keen to learn more about some of the research highlighted in this video, you can check out the full list of referenced academic papers in the video description. My thanks as always to the sponsors of this series over on the crowdfunding platform Patreon, whose names are on screen now. One of the extra goodies patrons get as thanks for ensuring this show's continued survival is the chance to vote on topics they're excited to hear about most. Last year I put together the biggest vote I've ever done, and in return was tasked with covering 3 major topics: the Total War franchise, StarCraft, and MOBAs. After 7 case study videos in the last 5 months, a new personal record, I'm happy to say I've now satisfied that remit. In turn, I hope everyone has found these topics interesting. Next up, I'm taking the opportunity to make some videos on topics I want to cover, but also launching a new poll that will guide the series content throughout the end of 2018. Some of the potential topics are listed on screen now. Get on over to the community tab here on my channel and vote on what you want to see. Meanwhile, patrons will not only get the final say on what comes next, but also get sneak peeks and extra content in my upcoming videos. As always, if you want to find out more, head on over to patreon.com/AI_and_games. Alright, I'm out of here. I'm gonna go and play a game where I don't feel like a geriatric. Solitaire might count.